Hi, Kellie Cottam here, Step Up Britain, Forced Adoption Exposed. Sid of which I'll get right one day, who is Walk for Justice, and we are outside Manchester United, and today we've been to collect Sid, who has walked down from Glasgow, and he's now arrived in Manchester. So we're getting some videos down of why Sid is Walk for Justice. Now, when we were at Manchester City, the theme there was Champions Together, and that's what we were basically asking people to do. For all of the parents who've been affected by social services, forced adoption, secret courts, to be their own champion, to be their champion for their children, to unite and come together for 1 month to be able to expose the media with what is going on in the system. Now, we're down at Manchester United, and there's a different theme here, and the theme here is about dreams, and there are thousands of children who are screaming to be heard, and we know the problem. Child is being taken every 20 minutes from social services by county council. Parents are being gagged, families are being completely torn to pieces. We know the problem, but we cannot expose it without talking about the problem. But there's a dream, and there's a dream for families to be united. So Sid is carrying the message down to all of the parliaments so we can force change. But parents are begging and pleading with the public to help us come together to provoke change, because we have a dream. We have a dream of the first time that we see our children again, to be back as families, as one, and to be able to get on with our lives. But we can't get on with our lives or move forward until this is over. This is about children, but Sid has a message, and the message is for us to all come together. If I can just introduce you to Sid, and Sid to just explain why he's doing the Walk for Justice. Sid, if you just want to...
Yeah, well, every country has human rights violations. Britain is no different from anywhere else. We have victims who don't have a right to speak out. We have secret courts that take children away from good parents, not just bad ones. And those good parents have to be protected, and so do the children. Because a lot of the false allegations and lies being used to take children away from good homes are human rights violations. This government won't do anything about it, and we have to take them to the Court of Human Rights and fight for those human rights for the children, and that's what we'll do. How do we do it? We can't do it in any kind of confrontation, we can't do it with any kind of embarrassment to the government, but we can do it in other ways, and we'd like to see everyone that's a fan of the football club or a rugby club or an athletics club, try and get their clubs to support us and do this in a fun way. If anyone can get their clubs to support us, we'll take their flags with us along the journey to the Court of Human Rights. If they can support us on a bungee jump, a skydive, anything like that, they can be taken as high as possible to get good publicity for the parachute clubs as well. And it doesn't matter how high it is. It's all we have to do is fall out of a plane or off a bridge, and the rest of it done by experts. And we need good publicity that will attract the attention of the public, and to try and get more people to speak out against the forced adoptions and the illegal taking of children through secret courts.
Now, currently in this country, and it's been going on since 2010, there's been a lot of government cuts, and what this has been doing is pushing so many families below the threshold that's meant that that's been giving social services permission to come in and take children. Now, we need 2015 to be a time of a new chapter for this country, and people are falling through the cracks, families are being broken down, And it really is a time now for people to have hope, faith, and to have a dream, and to start thinking about where they want to be in 2015 with their children. There's so many people out there screaming to be heard who are focusing on never seeing their children again. We know the problem. We understand the problem. Now, it's not black and white, and it is grey. And we need to now think about the rainbows and think about the dreams of us being returned and united with our children. And we're asking every single parent who has been affected by this system to come down on the 19th of July, hold a united front. This is not attack. We're not attacking. We are saying there is a problem and we need to do something about it. And then when Sid's been around to rule the European Parliament, then we can bring the solution forward. But we need parents to start thinking about that first time seeing their children, to break through the barriers, break through the limiting beliefs, break through the fact that they're saying you will never see our children again. Child is being taken every 20 minutes. How many more children need to be taken before people step up and do something? Because it could be you. It's happened to me. I have an 18 and a 15-year-old lads, great lads. They've got my two younger children. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. And the only time that people will step up is when it affects them. But we are gagged, and we can't do anything without the rise of the general public. We need these football teams. We need the rugby teams. We need the Parliament. We need the police. We need the social services. There are good and bad everywhere. And we need the good people to step forward so we can remove those that are in the corruption, sort of out of the system. But now we need to form a dream. And July needs to be our dream. July needs to be the month that we break the media. These stories do come out. That they're not just reporting of the cases where children do need to be removed. And we know that happens. But people can still be helped. But this July is our dream. This is when parents will all come together to show what is going on in this system so we can move forward to a solution. But the only way that we can do that is parents start believing that we have the power to do this. We are all able to do something about this, to break through and come out the other side with our families. And we're hoping that the likes of Manchester United, the mums, the wives, see what's going on in this system and want to help out in some way. And Sid, he's our dream. He is our champion. He is the one that's going to bring all of these groups together. He is the one who's going to carry our stories and our hope that somebody is going to listen to our voices. Because this is about our children, and this is about families. And family value is dying in Great Britain. And we need a new empowering vision and a new future for our children and our families. And this is the man who is the champion and the guardian of the innocents. And his war is for your children.
You can't live in a country where children are gagged, speaking out against being abused. You can't live in a country where 100,000 children run away from home care every year, and there's no safe house in Britain for them children to go to. So we need a safe house for those children screaming to be heard. We need gagging laws to be removed, secret courts to be stopped, and we need immunity for paedophiles to be removed. That is the biggest human rights violation of any child victim in this world. The most defenceless and vulnerable people on the planet. They have to be protected. We cannot have laws where their predators are protected. That is not national security. That is child abuse. It is human rights violations. They all have to be removed. The children have to be protected first, and the families have to be protected. And the children have a right to live with the families that they love.
There's currently a national adoption drive going on, and the basic sort of message is for a family, wanted as a family. Now, we do support the children that do need to be adopted, but there are children who are screaming to be returned to their families, and their dream is to come home and be united with their families. But the only way that we can do this is for the public to call for an inquiry and an inspection into these cases. I can prove that there is false allegations. I can prove that there is so much malfeasance. I can prove the injustice. But the only way we can bring this out is if the whole country comes down to say that this must stop. And we have a dream that we're to be united with our children. And Manchester United have a dream, and dreams do come true. And the only way that we can do that is if you help us make these children's dreams come true too, and bring them home to their right families, so that those that do need to be adopted can find their forever family.
And if you can dream it, you can do it. You're determined to do it.
If you believe it, you can conceive it. If you can hold it in your mind,
believe and achieve.
then you can hold it in your hand. And if you can see the day that you see your children, then you can make it happen. Because there is no can't, only can.